everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Dr. Ritika and today we are going to talk about OET exam and everything that you need to know about it. So if you're a healthcare professional aiming to appear for this exam, then make sure to watch this video till the end. So without any delay, let's dive right into it. So what is the OET exam? OET exam, or the Occupational English Test, is a language proficiency test for healthcare professionals. It focuses on specific skills and vocabulary that a doctor, a nurse, or any healthcare professional would use in a healthcare environment or setting. So if I describe it in simple terms, it's an English exam but with a specific focus on healthcare jobs. So no more random questions about the weather or food. Now you may be wondering, why should I take this test? So if you're planning to move abroad to countries like UK or Australia, it is mandatory for you to clear these exams because they need to test your English skills and how you can communicate effectively in a foreign healthcare setting. So if you are planning to pursue your training from abroad and give exams like PLAB, this could be the first step for you to fulfill your goal and your aim towards the PLAB exams. So now let's talk about what actually is this exam. So this exam will focus on four main skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And the good thing is that this is all healthcare related. So if you're a nurse or a doctor, this is the part where you can really shine. In listening part, you will hear the scenarios. You have to answer those questions based on time. In the reading part, you will get a paragraph and then you will be asked some questions and they will test how much you understand the paragraph and can answer the questions effectively. So in the writing part, you will be writing a letter like a referral or a discharge summary. Say you are a GP and you're referring a patient to the specialist. So you need to write a letter for that, a formal kind of letter. So basically in the writing part, you will be tested on this domain. The speaking was the most fun part for me. So you will be doing role plays. The examiner will be the patient and you're going to be the doctor. So you have to explain a diagnosis in simple words or simple sentences to the examiner who is the patient, or you may have to explain the management to the patient. So this is what you're going to be doing in the speaking part. Now this could be case related or it could be related to the ethics. I'm also going to discuss all the four parts in detail in later part of the video. Now, how much study time do you need? So honestly, it depends on your current level of English. Most of the people suggest somewhat 2 to 3 months if you're already comfortable in speaking in English. And if not, then you may require more time for it. Okay, so now let's talk about the most confusing part, which is booking the exam. So OET exam is held several times a year. You can register on the official OET website, choose the exam date, and pay the exam fee. You have the flexibility to choose the time and month whenever you need to appear when you feel like you are fully prepared for the exam. So you will need to pick a center as well. It is held in many major cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Chennai, Vizag, and a few more. So don't worry, the booking part is quite easy and you can definitely find a center near your place. But make sure to not leave the booking part for the last moment because you might end up not getting a seat on the specific date which you choose to appear for the exam. Now let's talk about the passing score. To pass the OET, you have to score at least B in each subsection. There are 4 grades: A, B, C, and D. So at least you have to score B to pass all the sections. Otherwise, you have to appear for the exam again. So B means that your skills are at a professional level and that's what you need to work in a professional healthcare setting. Alright, now let me share my personal story and my personal experience with the OET exam. This exam was quite new for me because I've never appeared for such exams before. So I was also working at that time. I did not have enough time to prepare for the exam. I remember giving time to practice with my speaking, practice partners, and I also made a notebook in which I used to practice reading, writing, and listening part. So I'm going to show you that in a while. But first, let me tell you how many questions will be there in each part and how much would you need to pass it. So I've got my laptop here and I've opened the official OET website, and it says that the duration of the OET exam is for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and here is the detailed exam pattern. So in the reading part, the total number of questions are 42 and the time is 60 minutes. In the writing part, you will get 45 minutes to write a referral letter or a discharge letter. In the speaking part, you have 20 minutes with the examiner to convey the scenario and to manage or to diagnose whatever is given in the question. In the listening part, you have 42 questions and the time is 40 minutes to solve all those questions. So the reading and listening parts are again subdivided into three parts. So I'm going to tell you the details of it. Just give me a minute. Okay, now let me tell you the structure of the listening part. There will be three parts, the three subparts, part A, part B, and then part C. So the part A, in the part A, you are going to hear some consultation extracts, which is going to be 5 minutes each. So let me simplify it for you. You are going to listen a patient and a doctor consultation audio, out of which you are going to give answers like fill in the blanks. So you are going to answer that in 1, 2, or 3 words, whatever you feel is right, and then you will be marked based on it. So in the listening part, you have 24 questions from part A. Now let me tell you about part B. So the part B is going to be short workplace extracts, which is going to be 1 minute each. Okay, so you have to listen to 6 recorded extracts. So the extracts could be team briefings, handover, or again, healthcare professional patient dialogues. And you have to answer one multiple choice question for each extract. So it makes around 6 multiple choice questions you have to answer for part B. And then part C. So you're going to listen 2 different extracts and answer 6 multiple questions for each extract. Alright, so let me again simplify it for you. So part A, you are going to have 24 questions from part A. From part B and part C, you're going to have 6 questions of multiple choice each. That makes a total of 42 questions. Now let's talk about the assessment. So because the part A is kind of fill in the blanks question, so it's going to be double checked by 2 different assessors. And because part B and part C are multiple choice question based exam, it's going to be computer scanned. Let me show you how I practiced for it. I made a notebook in which I used to practice listening tests like this. So I would listen to the abstracts of the abstracts in the audio, and then I'll just write down the numbers. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'll just write down the numbers from 1 to 42, and then I will leave some gaps. And then as the audio proceeds, I will just write down the answer, whatever I feel is right. And then at the end of 40 minutes, I will assess the answers. So now let's come to the reading part and discuss it in detail. It consists of 42 questions in total, and the time given to you is 60 minutes. So now again, as listening, it also has part A, part B, and part C. In the part A, you have to read 4 short paragraphs related to a single healthcare topic and answer 20 matching sentence completion and short answers. Don't worry, if you don't understand, I will show you how I practiced it. In the part B, you have short workplace extracts. You have to read 6 extracts, and the extracts will be like policy documents, hospital documents, guidelines, manuals, or internal communications such as emails or memos. And answer one multiple choice question for each extract. Alright, in the part C, you have a little bit longer articles, and then you have to read 2 articles. So basically, you have to answer 2 paragraphs, and you have to answer 8 multiple choice questions for each text. So it counts total of 16 questions. In this, you will get 60 minutes. But it is again subdivided. So in the part A, you will be given 15 minutes, and then the paper will be taken, and then the part B and part C you will be given collectively 45 minutes to answer all the questions. So again, because the pattern is same, then it will be assessed in a similar way. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I practiced for it. Okay, so here's my reading practice. So as you can see, I've again numbered it from 1 to 20 because the part A consists of 20 questions, and then again I've numbered it from 1 to 6, and then again continue to 22, because 1 to 6 are going to be in part B and the rest of the questions are going to be in the part C. So in the part B you're having 6 questions, in the part C you're having 16 questions, which counts a total of 22. So because you have to give part A separately, so I numbered it from 1 to 20, and you will be given 15 minutes for that. And rest of the time you will be given for part B, where you have to answer a total of 22 questions. So you can see that I scored, yes, I scored 27 out of 40, which is not a nice score. So this was my initial practice one. Then you can see how much I practiced. So this is first set, this is second set, third set, fourth set, and I practiced hell lot of reading tests. So yeah, in the later part, I used to score well. Like I in this one, I scored 39 out of 42, which is an impressive score. So you need to track your progress. For example, you are solving 3 sets in a day, then you need to track if your marks are consistently increasing in each set. And if not, then you need to figure out which part is lacking so that you can improve in that part, right? So the safe passing score for the reading part is again more than 32. At least try to score 35 to be on the safer side. Initially, you won't be getting a lot of marks. If you get, then it's really nice. You have a good hold in English. But if you're not getting, then make sure to practice more, practice more. Even if you are good in English, then sometimes you miss important informations, or maybe you are confused. So in that case, you just need to practice more, and then slowly you will get to understand the pattern of this exam. I feel really happy to see how much effort did I put for this exam. Like, I gave this exam back on 2022 November, and I prepared, like, I used to practice a lot with the job that I newly joined. And it's really difficult. I'm telling you, it's really difficult to manage things with job. Especially when you're investing so much of money in this exam, then you need to make sure that you pass in the first attempt only. So I was newly joined as a medical officer at that time in a primary health center. I was working from from 9 to 4. Then I used to come back home, practice reading, writing, and listening on my own, and then practice speaking with my practice partners during the night. So, yes, any exam that you're going to give will take efforts, and you need to be consistent on throughout to make sure that you pass it. Okay, so enough motivational speech from my side. Now, let's move to the next part, which is writing. So, writing, as I already told you, it has 45 minutes and is profession specific. For example, you will get to write a letter, usually a referral letter, sometimes a transfer letter, a discharge letter, or a letter to advise or inform the patient about their condition, or a letter responding to the complaint of a patient. So, you will be given 5 minutes reading time to read the case notes and other related documents, and 40 minutes writing time to complete the letter. Okay, this is quite simple and easy. But let me tell you, this is the most difficult part because everything needs to be very, very specific and right at the point. So you might be thinking in the writing part, oh, come on, it's very easy. You just have to write in correct grammar. It's not like that. Let me tell you how you will be assessed on the writing part. So you are going to be assessed on 6 parameters. The first one is the purpose of writing. Next is the content. The next one is conciseness and clarity. Next one is genre and style. Next, organization and layout. Next one is the language. So, yes, it is quite difficult because you have to fulfill all the 6 criteria. But let me tell you something about the writing section. All of the other section you can assess it by yourself because those are usually one-word answer, two-word answer, or MCQ based exam. But the writing is the part where you cannot assess yourself and you need someone else to assess you. So I would recommend to give a mock test for writing. It's very important because this is the part which can let you down later. I will tell you the details from where I book my mock and then you can book this similar one. There are many available nowadays. You can book any of them that you feel is right, but don't get scammed. Okay, now let's talk about the speaking part. So now in the speaking part, you will get 20 minutes to finish the test, and there are 2 role plays for each profession based on typical workplace situation. So it is profession based, like if you're a doctor, then you will be given a scenario where you're going to be a doctor. If you're a dentist or if you're a nurse, you will be given similar scenarios. Okay, because I'm a doctor, I was given scenarios of doctors. For example, the interlocutor or the assessor will take the role of the patient or a client or patient's relative or carer. Okay, so you need to talk to the patient or the carer of the patient or relative of the patient in a specific way. All right, so two role plays are going to be there. So before beginning the assessment, you will be given a short warm-up conversation with the interlocutor. So for each role play, you will be given 3 minutes to read the role play card, in which everything will be mentioned. What the patient, for example, what the patient has come with, what's the name of the patient, the age of the patient, what has the patient come with, the complaints of the patient, a little background information about the scenario, and some prompts to maintain the conversation for 5 minutes. All right. Now, the speaking subtest is designed to evaluate 4 linguistic criteria and 5 clinical communication criteria. I'm going to tell you about each of them. So, in the linguistic criteria, you will be scored from 0 to 6 in 4 domains, such as intelligibility, fluency, appropriateness of language, and resource of grammar and expression. In the clinical communication criteria, you will be scored on 5 parts, such as indicators of relationship building with the patient, understanding and incorporating the patient's perspective, providing structure to your conversation, information gathering from the patient, and information given to the patient or the patient's relative. So that's all about all the 4 parts of OET exam and how I prepared for it. Okay, so for the speaking part, sorry, I forgot to mention how I practice for the speaking part. So I found out a few practice partners in Facebook and Telegram groups, and we used to practice at least for 1 to 2 hours every day. We used to practice 2 or 3 scenarios for each person. So the takeaway point is that you have to practice, 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 and practice a lot. In the speaking section specifically, you need to find study partners, practice partners, and practice as much as you can. The clinical scenarios, ethical scenarios, and a lot more. In the writing, reading, and listening part, I will be mentioning some really important links where you will get free materials to practice, and then you can make a notebook of your own and start practicing in different sections, assigning particular times. So I personally practice for 1.5 months along with a job. Okay, now let's talk about the important part. What is the exam fee of the OET exam? It's currently set at Australian dollars 587, which translates to Indian currency 31,822 Indian rupees. Okay, it will be covering all the 4 subtests, which is reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So also one more important information, some of the candidates are more comfortable in pen and paper and the others are comfortable in the computer based exam. So this exam is available in both the ways. So whichever way you want to book, you can book it through the official OET website. Make sure to check the dates. Sometimes there are different dates available for each type of exams. So you need to check the dates first and then your center where you want to appear for this exam. So you need to figure out all these things before you actually start preparing for the exam. So that's all about the OET exam, and if you found the video helpful, then make sure to hit the like, share and subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you never miss an update. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any doubts. I will be answering all the questions. Until then, good luck with your OET preparation. Thank you so much.